All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I know a couple more are planning to hop on, and so um, we'll just let them stream in. Welcome to the Wellness Warriors Community Connection Call. I am Megan, and tonight we have an amazing guest, Jennifer Lane Pickett. Am I saying your last name right? That's how I say it in my head.
It's Pigate.
I'm
Pig.
totally saying it wrong. Pigate. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's okay. I answer to Pigate. But
Pigate. Oh, very Italiano.
yes, just
Yes.
remember like pie
Uh-huh.
and maybe I don't know, Pigate. I don't know,
Right? Okay.
but it's okay. Yep.
So it's Pigate.
Yes, Pigate.
Okay. So she is an emerald, and I have asked her to come on and share her story. So I want to know it all, Jennifer. Like what made you decide to start the products? I'm assuming you came for the products and then did the business. Okay, so what made you want to start the products, and then what made you decide to transition to the doing the business?
So it's funny. I grew up in a supplement family, where my parents, we did not go to the doctor. They were very holistic. My mom had her little book that she would go and look up stuff and home make, if we were sick or anything like that. So I, pretty much um, was taking supplements when Plexus came into my life. Actually, I saw a car. It was a license plate that said Plexus at one of our churches here in town, and I was like, what is Plexus? That was 9 years ago. Facebook was fairly kind of new. So I went straight to Facebook really and typed in Plexus. And it was funny. It pulled up, supplements and that kind of thing. And I was like, I was like, this is right up my alley. So the license plate, of course, whoever was driving the car, you know how you see a license plate and you're like, what is that? What does that mean? So anyway, they didn't have a phone number or nothing like that. And I didn't even really think about, like I just was curious to see what it was. But it's so crazy how, I started, I actually, I didn't jump in as soon as I looked up Plexus, but I just went to Facebook and then, started reading some of the stories. And I was a tired mom. I have two kids, a boy, girl, and I worked a full-time job 9 years ago, going back to the start. So I was a dental assistant. I had done that for 16 years, and just thought that I was going to retire from that. So my Plexus search, it led me to a stranger, which my sponsor is Megan Garrity. And we're pretty much on the same team, me and Whitney, Megan and Whitney. So anyway, it just started, I started for the products. So I went to Megan and we kind of talked, I sent her a message and I was like, I'm curious, just, I know I'm a stranger to you, but I don't know anybody that sells this or whatever, tell me more about it. Cause I just had my labs done. Like I thought that I was tired because of thyroid that runs in my family. But
Mhm.
all my levels and stuff were fine. So anyway, um, I got on the phone with Megan probably about a month after I looked up Plexus. And then I waited, I didn't join Megan right away. I kind of, still was on hold about it because, $100 was a lot, especially with two young kids. And um, I finally said, yes, I'll try it. Megan was like, we have the money back. And anyway, I started it a weekend. People at work were curious. I worked at an orthodontic office and we had about 20 women that worked there. So,
Nice.
they were curious. One of my best friends, she was like, oh, I want to try it, and I was like, no, I was like, she's like, I said, I'll just order it for you. Like, I still didn't, I didn't think anything of the business, but she was like, no, I want to order it. And just a natural, a business just started right there at work before I knew it. So it was, it just kind of started taking off. But it was a slow journey. I think it actually took me like maybe 4 months to go silver. And then so, to sign up 3 people. And then I had um one of my original ones, she actually went silver before I did. So that was kind of a like, well, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do it,
Mhm.
that was kind of a motivator too. I was like, if she can do it, I can do it.
Mhm.
So even though I worked with, all these women and they were curious, they, it still, they wanted to see the changes in me and they saw because I was a diet Coke drinker and a coffee drinker, they saw me quit, going to the gas station next door to our dental office. And they, finally all jumped in. And I feel like probably maybe 15 at the office. They finally joined in, and it was just crazy because then the dentist was like, is what is this plexus? Like
Mm.
um, but anyway, I actually worked full time and had the 2 kids that were, in preschool and elementary as my journey went to Emerald. So some people will say, well, I'm working, I don't have the time to do this. And that is, just an excuse. So I quit watching TV. I, dedicated my extra time going into work, maybe 5 minutes early, not super early because I'm normally a late person. But, I just fitted this in the nooks and crannies. And I went Emerald in about 29 months. And
Nice.
yes, so when I hit that point, of Emerald, I decided a month later, I was like, I talked to my husband. I was like, I think it's time for me to step away. Like, this is real. This is the real deal. And he agreed. And, I was making, I guess, like triple, the amount of money, $2,000 a month versus the 9 to 10,000, um, my first Emerald paycheck. So it was amazing. Um, so anyway, I was like, you know, this is the real deal. And it was like the best thing. Like when I came home, I felt like I was made to be at home. Like I didn't miss my job at all, that I thought I was going to retire from. And and now I mean, I'm still here at home. Um, 7 years later, it'll be my 10th Plexus anniversary this September. So
Mm.
it it's it's the real deal. It's the real deal, Um,
Yeah. That's amazing. So, I love that it took you 4 months to go silver because I
yeah,
think like this whole silver and six, it's amazing when it can happen. And for some people, it's pop, 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 and for other people, it's not. It's so I like that you shared that because that kind of normalizes that. Uh,
yeah,
um, and um, and that you were able to work full time while working your way to Emerald because you're right, it's a common objection that we get, and it is an excuse, but I think they believe it. I think when people say it, like they're not saying it as an excuse, they like honestly believe like I've got too much on my plate, but where there's a will there's a way, right?
yeah, yes, for sure. Because we've had so many things happen
Mhm.
in our life where I'm like, God knew exactly what he was doing because like my kids were being picked up, of course, because when you work an 8 to 5 job, and I don't know what you guys do for a living, but it's hard. I mean, you can't just go pick up your kids. You have to ask off and all of that stuff. And like their grandparents were picking them up from school. My parents would go and my husband's parents, but my husband's mom, she was diagnosed with leukemia,
Mhm.
kind of like right at the same time. So it was just, I knew that she was going to be having to go through you know, a a difficult time, and they wouldn't be able to go pick up the kids. And then my parents, they were in their 70s actually, so they had kind of, they didn't really like to drive, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's just crazy how it was just the perfect timing, and God's timing for sure. And I'm just so thankful, because I'm like, how would this have even worked out, if I hadn't had Plexus? Like, because I had to work, and I have to work. Um, so anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, what are some of the things that you've learned along the way that you could share with us about the business?
Um, So I wrote down a few things. I don't know why I have a frog in my throat. So we had cool weather. I'm so jealous of your 80-degree weather, but so I'm in South Carolina, and I'm
Mhm.
about an hour and a half from the beach. And we've had just weird weather. Today it was like in the 50s this morning, and then probably the same for you, Megan. It sounds like it.
Yeah, raining cats and dogs here.
Yes, here
Hmm.
too. Here.
Hmm.
But I was going to say, being disciplined is one of the things, because you're not going to always be motivated. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just like working out, and sometimes it may be boring. I mean, honestly, like it's just like when you're on a diet, you're eating the same foods and it becomes, kind of boring. But, staying disciplined, because motivation is, that's going to come and go. And um, just being disciplined. I remember having to say no to going out to eat whenever I was working that full-time job. Like I would have friends like say, "Hey, can we go out to eat?" I'm like, "I got to work my business," because I'm trying to get where I can go out to eat anytime. You
Right. Mhm.
know. So
Good
if you
on you for doing that.
yes, 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 stay disciplined. Consistent in your activity, it's network marketing, and that means talking to people. And I'm preaching to myself, because I have teammates, they'll say, well, I'm so busy working, my full-time job. And I'm like, but that's a good thing, because your business
Hmm.
is based on talking to people,
Hmm.
being, around people. Um, so I'm even thinking about, getting a little part-time fun,
Hmm.
something fun, nothing I have to commit to. But just because I have been, being at home is a great thing, but too, you can get like where you're not talking to people, except for Facebook. So
I can relate. So I'm in scrubs right now because I'm
yeah,
filling in for I'm a hygienist and I'm
yeah,
filling in for a maternity leave. And I just had somebody message me, a patient, like I gave her my cell phone number and she's like, "Hey, can you tell me about those gut health products we were talking about?" So, you're meeting different coworkers or different people and just meeting more people and having more conversations and forming more relationships. So I get it. I enjoy that. And
yeah.
I also enjoy that it gets to be something that I do because I want to 1 or 2 days a week and not because I have to.
Right, right. Yeah, I made the mistake of saying that I would fill in for like a week for as a dental assistant, and I dreaded it after day 2 or 3. I was like, why did I commit to this?
Right. Yeah.
Um, but setting goals and driving towards them is another thing that, has really helped me in my business.
Hmm.
Um, and having a clear vision, a clear why of why you're doing this.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that would be some of the things that I have learned and implemented, over the 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone have any questions for her? Because I could sit here and pepper her with questions, but I'd like to allow others.
Jennifer, I loved hearing your story. It's just so powerful. I love how it was just kind of naturally turned into a business for you. I love hearing that. Um, so my question is, what do you think is maybe your top strengths that help you have success as a leader?
Well, we have been very successful as an Emerald team. Um, I've been 5 times to Hawaii, I think, 2 trips to Mexico. I tried to write them down. I've had two Plexus Lexus. And I really think just the connection with my team, a lot of my team, we all live here together. And of course, we have our team Zooms on Tuesday nights. So when I hit gold, that's when I started building a community. So, don't wait, if you're senior silver, I mean, you've got what, 10 customers that you can invite to do something, like my strength is getting people together. So that's what I love and enjoy is, introducing people to each other, even if they're not on our team. Like if I see that, this person could connect with this person better, like I'm like, oh my gosh, you should meet, my friend Megan. So I just think, you know, just that connection with your customers, um, your teammates, your ambassadors, just
Do
getting with them.
do you connect with them in person because you're mostly local to each other, or do you connect to them? I'm sure you connect some virtually, not everybody's close to each other, but yeah.
Yeah, we do try to do like I have a few that 2 or 3 that we probably get up together about every other Friday for
Oh,
coffee
nice.
or lunch. And then, our Tuesday night for everybody that is not local, they normally jump on. And then um, we try to do like we did a Mother's Day brunch, and we did Super Saturday together. So I feel like anytime you can, get
Gather
together, yeah,
people.
gather each other, and do that, I think that builds community. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so.
Good question, Whitney, making our own our strengths.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Kate, did you have a question? No? I thought I saw you like trying to unmute yourself. Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I don't know if it's appropriate to ask or not, but I was going to ask what your why was.
Mm,
Yeah, that's good. Well, my why was to be at home. When I got gold pay, I was like, I'm not really doing that much. And I was like, if I can, they say if you can go gold, you can go diamond. So I was like, I think I can, I'm I never, even though I was scared every rank. Like my why was to hit emerald and to, even though ruby pay would have, been sufficient, for me to quit my job, I wanted to go bigger. Um, Before I quit, but that was my why, to be at home, and to still be able to bring in an income. And another why too was, once I accomplished that, was like I wanted an in-ground pool that I didn't have to go to the bank for, and I knew the in-ground pool would make memories. It was something that I always wanted growing up, so that was another thing that I was working towards, getting out of debt.
mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I know that my 8 to 5, it was like a 25 cent to 50 cent raise every year. So I was trying to figure out like how much money I would make by the time I retired. Um, so yeah, I mean, that why of just having that time freedom to being at home, that was my why. And that's what keeps me, because I would hate to have to go back to the 8 to 5 job again,
Yeah.
How
even
old
if
were your kids, Jennifer, when you came home from work?
um they were elementary. So let's see, I think Bryson, my son, was 4. Yeah, because he's 14, he just turned 14. So he was 4. or 5, and then my daughter was 7 or 8. So, well, no, because that was 10 years ago. So we would add 2.5 years to that because I didn't quit the job. I started the business while they were those.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they were very needy. And I can remember even Bryson, my son, was like, "Mom, you're always on your phone." And but that was a sacrifice. So,
Mhm.
I had to be like, "Listen, this is how mommy is going to be able to quit her job and we're going to be able to go to Hawaii." And they have been to Hawaii 3 times. So, but it was hard too because it hurt me because, I didn't, um, I needed, I didn't want to take away the time from him. That's kind of hard for a child to understand, but, they get it and, they're
Yeah.
just, yeah.
It was a temporary sacrifice for
It
a
was, it
greater
was
reward, right? And so I'm
definitely.
sure when you did come home, then he's probably like, I'm so glad that you worked so hard all that time.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And they ask all the time. So when are you going to Sapphire? So when are you going to Diamond? So they're in it, for sure, and they love it. Their most memorable trip, of course, is to Hawaii. They don't remember any other vacations to our local beach, but they remember Hawaii for sure. So
Oh, I love that.
I love that too. Thank you. And I love that I've seen your in-ground pool on Facebook and it's gorgeous. You put in a good one, sister. Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Yeah.
it's just so good, to because those are things that we would normally have to go to the bank for.
Right. Right. Most people do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I like that you were figuring, because I think a lot of people, they just kind of go through their life kind of on autopilot, and you were thinking, wait a minute, if I get a 50-cent raise a year, like where am I going to be? And you're thinking outside the box and allowing yourself to dream. Yeah, I can relate.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah,
yep. You're welcome.
yeah. Anyone else have any questions before we let Jennifer? You're welcome to stay on for the business portion of our call, or you're welcome to hop off and go be with your family. But we thank you for that. Anyone else have any last questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you guys. I appreciate, and I'm just so honored to be on here. And your leaders, Whitney and Megan, like they're amazing. They are amazing. So I've learned so much from both of them. So anyway, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys at convention, I hope.
You sure will. I can't wait.
Yes, very soon.
Yeah.
How exciting.
All right, we'll see you there.
Yay.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Jennifer.
Yes, you're welcome. Have a good night.
You
Thank you.
too. Oh, that was awesome, Megan. Thank you for arranging that. It's so good
Yeah.
always to hear from. Oh, I was like, where did Megan go? Did she accidentally hop off too? You're right here by me up at the top.
I'm right here
I
in
was
my
looking at everyone but
redesigned
you.
background. Uh-huh.
I love it. Are you in a different spot? I don't
I just
recognize
bought a
your
new
backdrop.
house. No, it's a virtual background. I haven't stopped to figure out how to take it off.
Oh, that's so funny. I was like, are you visiting somewhere? I didn't know you were
Yeah.
out of town. Fun. And look, we got Stacy and Bernita hanging out together.
I know. They're gonna go to, what's the name of that island? Mackinac Island?
Oh, are they there? Oh my gosh,
Is that
fun.
it?
No.
Okay. They're on
Just
Lake Michigan somewhere.
fun. Well, whatever it is, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
You guys look like you're enjoying the nice weather. That's fun. Okay, well, let's jump into our business building section. We've got about 20 minutes left here. So what I wanted to, first of all, make sure everyone is savvy on our cortisol cleanse challenge. Is everyone, do we have any questions about that, or anyone still need in or haven't heard about it? Are we all good?
I've been
Michelle, are you
getting
trying to say something? I need to share my screen so I can hang on.
I've been getting a ton of, you still need in, Jennifer. I just got approved yesterday, the day before. And I sent out a broadcast. It was actually the one that you sent out, Whitney, to my downline. And oh my gosh, so many responses. Like I'm still replying. There's a
Right?
lot of desire. I think because a lot of people know that we don't want high cortisol and it makes us fat, but we don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it seems like it's a buzzword right now, cortisol. Everyone's talking about it all of a sudden. And so it's such perfect timing to jump on that and talk about how these products can help, certain healthy habits that we're going to be sharing, just different tweaks can make such a difference.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone is aware of that and has what they need to be inviting and participating. This should be a really good one. I'm excited for it.
So
Um,
if I'm not mistaken, it's triplex plus any add-ons that they want to add on by the sounds of it.
yeah, because so they're basically sharing like these are the basics. It shows it right here. This is the graphic
Okay.
I've been sending to everyone that says they're
Oh, I like that.
interested.
Okay.
So it's like these will be the basics, and then these are suggested add-ons that can help. So they'll be highlighting specifically the MetaBurn, the Reset, and Mega X, and then they'll also be highlighting some other products and how they can be helpful as well. But these are going to be the main ones that they're suggesting. So that's what I'm sending when anyone says they're interested. Is these are the suggestions, and then I just realized I sent all these out to everyone that responded, and there wasn't even a link for the group in there. So I need to go back through to everyone and send them the link for the group. But it sounds like everyone here is already in. So apparently y'all found it somewhere else, and that's good. Um, but okay, so no one has any questions about that. Um, let's talk about, so we are coming up here, right, till end of the month. And end of the month is a really important time for your business. And there is a strategy that you can use that can really make you help you have the most successful month, especially closing it out at the end. And so what I wanted to highlight is that we have, if you haven't noticed in the Wellness Warriors, we have a 3-part how to work your business strategy. This was created by Brooke Hemingway, who is brilliant with business strategy. And I love how she's broken up like the most effective business building activities into different like parts of the month. And so I wanted to encourage you to follow along with these if you've never really paid attention to them when they post in Wellness Warriors. Just to give you a little example, here is, and this posts every single month. Part 1 covers like the first 10 days of the month. Part 2 covers the second 10 days of the month. And then part 3 covers the last portion of the month. So for example, we've got how to work your business monthly planning part 3 of 3, day 21 to end of month. Learning to work systematically is so key. It's what'll set you apart. Decide what tasks you're going to do this week and schedule it into your planner. Days 20 to 30 or 31, whichever, how many days in the month. We're down to the last part of the month, and this is go time because you've planned, prepared, and done the work leading up to this. You're going to find more success than ever. Don't stop now, lean in. The 28th of every month, so tomorrow, when subscriptions run, then you kind of get a final viewpoint of like what orders you're going to have without a push this month. There's always some extra work you can do to add to that. But the 28th is the last day of the month that subscriptions can run. And so that's when you really want to be in your virtual office and paying attention to certain things because you can really up that number and up your paycheck. And not only that, but you can help people on your team do the same and even rank up or re-rank based on where they're sitting at this point, if you're paying attention. So here's what is suggested on the 28th of every month. Message remainder of less than 100 PV people. So this is another activity we do a little bit earlier in the month on this strategy. but right now you're going to finish that off. And those who have become less than 100 PV since you sent your first batch, also follow up with each person you've reached out to and haven't heard from. Add additional value by way of a video, interesting info, health tips, etc. When you add value, it doesn't feel like, hey, buy something. My goal is always to try to find a great solution for their health goals. By the 28th, you will have reached out to all less than 100 PV, but you will have already done a big chunk, or you will have, yes, but you will have already done a big chunk of them earlier in the month. This avoids overwhelm and gives you plenty of time for thoughtful conversation and recommendations. And I will say too, this is like, you know, if you don't have a massive team like a Jewel team, then this is a lot easier. Last week of the month, revisit your contacts list and scroll back through at least a few months of messages and DMs and texts, as well as your planner. Who have you forgotten to follow up with? Who are you in three-way messages with your level 1, 2, and 3 ambassadors? Reach out and connect. Is now a good time for them to sample the products, get started, rekindle the conversation? How the heck are they? How's life? We all forget people. I do this and I always scroll back at least 3 months. Every time I do that, I find more people that I forgot about. So that's such a good reminder to do that end of month. Check in with your leaders and goal setters and help them with their map. We all rise together. So last week of the month, see and plan to develop potential in the last week. This is possibility time. You have an entire week to help people with their goals, get their products paid for, get their first silver bonus, etc. This is crunch time. You did this at the beginning of the month, and now it's time to revisit and make a new list. So she's talking about like the map that we make like for the month. We kind of plan it out, and now the last week of the month, we can really see like more honed in who is close and like how are we going to finish this out. So go to your points and rank in your virtual office, but this time don't backdate to the month before. Use where they are at this month and sort by team points highest to lowest. Look at where your team members are and how close they are to their next rank or re-rank. I especially look for people with these criteria. People that have 5 to 10 points that have never gone silver, 20 to 45 points who have never gone senior silver. It's called super silver the old way. 70 to 95 points who have never gone gold. And people who are within range to re-rank, about 20 to 25% or so off from re-ranking. People who are close to achieving their next rank, gold and beyond, within about 25% once subscription orders process. So Brooke says, I don't care if they're my level 1, my level 6. I want to help them succeed. I reach out and encourage and message and ask how I can help. Include their sponsor if they are on board and want to run for it, and if their sponsor is actively supporting. The goal is to move the masses. If everyone does a little, it equals a lot. Help more people succeed is what it's all about. You can build an army of silvers, senior silvers, and gold to diamond, but you can't if you don't even know where they are at. And that they were even close. Repeat this 3 days before the end of the month after all subs have processed. Check back in with them both times. I challenge you to take this and map it out in your calendars now. Map it out for the rest of the month and for the next month too. When you put specific tasks on your calendar and get them done on schedule, you are operating like a business. This spreads out the work to manageable small chunks. This moves the needle forward in huge ways. This is what separates you from a casual side hustle girl to a total boss babe. So you may already be familiar with, and what you'll see in some of the earlier ones is like checking for credit card declines and things like that. But where you're really gonna take off and get into those jewel ranks is when you're helping develop other people on your team. So if this is not a practice that you already have of looking at your team potential, as in like points, see who is close to a rank up or a re-rank, then that's something that you want to make a habit. So I wanted to use as our work with me time. Is there anyone who's already done this for the month? If not, we're going to do it together right now. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we are going to open up, well, I'm going to let me actually share this part right here in the chat, because these are the people that we're looking for. So let me copy this and then I'll stop our share and put this in the chat. Come on, chat. There you are. Okay. Okay. All right, so go ahead and open up your virtual office and we are going to find who fits in to these categories. So get that logged in right here. Let me move this out of the way. That's so weird. When I go to open my Plexus account, it leaves the chat open, but I can't see you guys. So that I don't know why it's doing that. That's weird. Let me get logged in here.
Okay, are you screen sharing or you want us to go in our virtual office and go to point
Yes.
rank? Okay.
Yeah, go log into your virtual office and we are going to have you determine who in your team fits into these categories. Hang on, I gotta move this for just a second.
So if you're not sure what we're doing, what you want to do is log into your virtual office, like she said, click on points and rank, and then you're going to sort by ascending or descending. I just click on both. And it'll show you who has the most points all the way down to the least, and then you can look for those sort of categories.
Is anyone stuck or does everyone know how to find that report, the points and rank?
You sort by team points. That's what it is.
Also, if you remember, if you do have a pretty large team, it's easier if you hide all the tabs. Like Carol showed us how to do this a while back on our team Zoom. And then you can unclick probably just like the name, the level, the team points. If that's all you want on there, then that's easy to see. And then go from ascending to descending. Okay.
So I'm doing their name, their sponsor name, their level, their points. Paid level is important. And then you could do achieved rank and then team points.
Much better idea. I'm in my wrong account. I gotta get into my diamond account here.
You don't totally need your the PV except to make sure that everybody's commission qualified.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be a good thing just to check for them too.
Yeah. And I have a couple who are not.
Okay, and let's talk about what to do with these people once everyone's in there and we have the chance to see what we have
Okay.
and who we've got to reach out to. Okay. Okay, what do you think we want to do with these people that have the potential to earn a lot more income, possibly this month, with just a little push for some people? So,
Ooh.
do we want to sit back and assume that they are paying attention and they know?
Yeah, no. Hey, Kate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, are you looking at your report right now?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was.
Okay. Well, just don't say the name. Hildy on your team.
Yep.
Her achieved rank is senior ambassador and she has 17 points.
Um, I don't think that's right,
Okay.
honestly, because she never went senior silver.
No. Senior ambassador. She never went silver. So
Ooh,
Oh, gotcha.
she
Gotcha.
needs one person. Or actually, she only
Yeah.
needs 1 point. But let's see if she's got 3 people ordering. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's exactly who I would focus on in the next couple of days. Um, and then let's see.
oops. Okay, now here's what I would suggest you want to do with these people is you can actually kind of do the math and figure out the difference in extra income they would earn and how many more orders they need. So what you want to do is break that down before you reach out to them.
Yes.
And then
Mhm.
you want to just say, hey, Megan, I was just in my virtual office. I know subscriptions just ran. And I realized, holy cow, you're only 14 orders away from gold or senior gold or whatever. And we've got this amazing challenge coming up. If you want to dig in, I've got some suggestions of how we could totally make that happen by end of month. Did I say that you'd earn this much extra money? Yes. So, like, you just want to make them aware and put a dollar sign on it. That's a huge, that'll make all the difference for them to understand, like, holy cow,
What's in it for
I'm
them if
making
they get to
extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's something that's like game changer. So if you're working on this the last week of each month and you've got your eyes on that, and especially once all subscriptions run, then you're really able to strategize. And I'll tell you what, it's just like that's the magic of reaching those higher ranks, those jewel ranks, is helping other people achieve their goals and earn more money. That's what increases your points faster than trying to do it yourself, hands down. Would you agree, Megan and Jen?
Oh, absolutely.
And so this is an activity and an exercise that I would just really highly encourage you to make part of your, you know, consistent method of operation here. So just be aware of that. And then we'll check out. I want to make sure everyone's, just aware of those, like how it's broken up, how to work your business consistently, part 1, 2, and 3. And you'll see that it really covers the gamut of all the most effective things you can be doing. And when you're breaking it up like that, then it makes it feel so doable. So that's the whole point of that. So I hope that was helpful.
That is helpful. Thank you for that reminder because I promise myself every month, okay, this month for real,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the first 10 days in the first 10 days. And then I never like follow through with doing it systematically and just think where we could be if we had some self-discipline around the activities that are the most income producing. And
Amen.
it also feels like it's exciting to me when I've done this in the past. That's when my team has grown the most. And it's been exciting to me to reach out to people and be like, oh my gosh, I just realized that if you sign up one more person, you're going to get $125. And they go find somebody and they're thrilled to get the $125. And it feels like I'm serving them rather than do this business with me, do this business with me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, if this, then this. And so it's just, I love it.
Yeah, that's servant leadership right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does. It builds trust and
Yeah.
it's so great. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All
Thanks
right.
for
Thank you
jumping on,
guys.
everyone.
Good to see you.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Ciao, ciao.